There was a time when the name Tony Jaa sent shockwaves through the world of action cinema. No wires, no CGI, no stunt doubles, just raw, blistering martial arts that felt like a punch to the gut. Audiences had never seen anything like him. From the moment Ong Bak hit the screens in the early 2000s, Tony Jaa wasn't just a movie star, he was a phenomenon. Elbows shattered jaws, knees crushed ribs. He wasn't acting. He was surviving. Every leap, every kick, every brutal fight scene redefined what was possible on screen. Fans didn't just admire him, they believed in him. But behind the unforgettable fight, choreography, and gravity-defying stunts, a darker story was quietly unfolding, one that few people saw coming. While the world was mesmerized by his power on screen, Tony Jaa was fighting a very different battle off it. Unknown to most, he had signed a contract with a Thai film studio that would soon become a gilded cage. At first, the partnership seemed like a dream. Money, fame, international offers pouring in. But hidden deep within the fine print was a reality far more ruthless. Tony Jaa didn't own his time. He didn't control his money. He didn't even control his career. Everything, from his filming schedule to his public appearances, was dictated by the studio. The same man who flew through the air in fight scenes was grounded in real life, shackled by a system designed to squeeze him dry. And that's when the whispers began. Whispers that Tony Jaa was looking for a way out. Any way out. Rumors swirled about secret meetings, desperate negotiations, and dangerous alliances. Some said he was trying to break free at any cost. Others claimed he was getting involved with people you don't walk away from. The world only saw the legend. But behind closed doors, Tony Jaa was a man cornered, a warrior trapped in a fight he couldn't win with fists alone. What happens when the most unstoppable action star of his generation realizes that the real enemy isn't on screen? It's the people controlling his life from the shadows. This was the beginning of Tony Jaa's greatest battle, and it was only going to get darker from here. But the breaking point came when Tony Jaa made a bold, career-defining move, one that would ignite a legal firestorm and drag his name into the darkest rumors of his life. In 2013, after years of feeling trapped in his restrictive contract, Tony Jaa was presented with the opportunity of a lifetime. A role in Furious 7, part of one of Hollywood's biggest action franchises. For Tony, it wasn't just another movie. It was his ticket to global freedom, a chance to step beyond the borders of Thailand and prove himself on the world stage. But his old studio didn't see it that way. The moment Tony Jaa signed with Universal Pictures, his former Thai backers struck back hard. They accused him of breaching his contract, claiming they still owned exclusive rights to his career. What followed was nothing short of explosive. A $50 million lawsuit filed against Universal, demanding compensation and threatening to block Furious 7 from being released in Thailand altogether. Headlines erupted, legal documents surfaced, and just like that, Tony Jaa went from martial arts icon to the center of an international legal war. But the real chaos was only just beginning. As the lawsuit gained attention, smaller media outlets and anonymous blogs began spinning a darker, more sensational narrative. Whispers turned to wild accusations. Was Tony Jaa secretly financing his legal battle through underground crime syndicates? Was he involved in trafficking? Kidnapping? The rumors spread like wildfire, unverified but irresistible in the world of online gossip. The truth was buried beneath layers of legal jargon and media distortion. But one thing was clear. Tony Jaa's fight had moved far beyond movie sets and choreographed stunts. He was now battling forces more powerful and more dangerous than any villain he had faced on screen. And the world was watching, waiting to see how far Tony Jaa would fall, or if he could fight his way back from the edge. While the lawsuit with his former studio raged on, Tony Jaa made a desperate move. one that would push him to the brink of collapse. Determined to reclaim his identity as both an artist and a fighter, he threw himself into his most ambitious project yet, Ong Bak 2. This wasn't just another action film, it was supposed to be his masterpiece, his comeback, his statement to the world that no studio controlled him anymore. But behind the scenes, Ong Bak 2 was a production spiraling out of control. Tony Jaa didn't just star in the movie. He directed it, choreographed the fights, and even invested his own money to keep the project alive. He took on every burden possible, wearing every hat, driven by pride, passion, and maybe a touch of desperation. The cost? It was staggering. Budgets soared. Deadlines were missed. Rumors began circulating that the set was plagued with chaos, sleepless nights, financial problems, and a crew that didn't know if their star would even show up the next day. Then, the unthinkable happened. In the middle of filming, Tony Jaa vanished. Production came to a screeching halt. No one knew where he was. Was he kidnapped? Was he hiding? Had the pressure finally broken the man who once seemed indestructible? Days later, he was found, not in a glamorous mansion or surrounded by bodyguards, but in a safe house, exhausted, drained, and nearly bankrupt. He had poured everything, his savings, his energy, his reputation, into Ong Bak 2, and now it was crumbling around him. For a man who fought his way through walls and leapt from rooftops on screen, this was a defeat like no other. But then, in a twist no one saw coming, Tony Jaa made his most shocking move yet. In May 2010, at the height of legal battles, financial ruin, and media frenzy, he disappeared again, this time by choice. Tony Jaa ordained as a Buddhist monk. The news sent shockwaves across Thailand and beyond. How could the world's most famous action star trade movie sets for monastery walls? Some believed it was a genuine spiritual calling, a return to peace after years of chaos. But others weren't so sure. The tabloids had a field day. Was he running from loan sharks? Hiding from authorities? Escaping a life spiraling out of control? The longer Tony Jaa remained in monkhood, cut off from the media, absent from the spotlight, the bigger the rumors grew. Wild conspiracy theories exploded online. Secret arrests, hidden crimes, underground ties to trafficking rings. But in truth, Tony Jaa wasn't hiding. He was healing. Every day he spent in meditation, and silence wasn't proof of guilt. It was survival. A pause in a life that had spun completely out of his control. Yet as he sat inside the monastery walls, the world outside was spinning a story of its own. One far darker and far more dangerous than anything Tony Jaa had ever faced on screen. And the rumors were only getting started. But just when it seemed like Tony Jaa's life couldn't get any more complicated, the internet delivered its deadliest blow yet. It started small. A few sensational blog posts, scattered social media comments, unverified videos with clickbait titles like Tony Jaa sentenced to life in Thai prison. Within days, the story exploded across Facebook groups, Twitter threads, and YouTube conspiracy channels. The claim was shocking. Tony Jaa, once the pride of Thailand and the king of Muay Thai cinema, had allegedly been sentenced to life in prison for human trafficking and kidnapping. The rumors spread like wildfire. Hashtags like #Tony Jaa. Life sentence began trending in Southeast Asia. A viral TikTok video detailing the so-called charges racked up over 3 million views in less than 48 hours. Reddit threads speculated about underground crime rings. Some news sites even published fake prison photos, heavily edited images claiming to show Tony Jaa in a Thai maximum security facility. To many casual readers, it sounded believable. After all, hadn't Tony Jaa disappeared for long stretches? Didn't he get involved in legal battles over Furious 7? Didn't he go off the grid and become a monk? But there was just one problem. None of it was true. Not a single credible news outlet, Thai or international, had reported on any conviction. No court documents existed, no official statements from Thai authorities, no legitimate legal record of any sentence, let alone life imprisonment. So, where did this rumor really come from? Ironically, the answer may lie in Tony Jaa's own film career. In 2015, Tony Jaa starred in Killzone 2, also known as SPL2, a gritty Hong Kong action film where he played a heroic prison guard caught in a violent conspiracy inside a corrupt penitentiary. The movie featured brutal prison fights, gang wars, and scenes of Jaa surrounded by criminals in chains. Somewhere along the line, online conspiracy theorists blurred the line between fiction and reality. Clips from Killzone 2 were ripped out of context, uploaded with misleading titles, and passed off as evidence of his supposed imprisonment. Lazy fact-checking fueled the fire. And just like that, a rumor born from a movie role spiraled into an international hoax, one that millions believed. The truth? Tony Jaa wasn't behind bars. He was still fighting, just not in the way the internet imagined. In the end, the wildest rumors couldn't define Tony Jaa, because reality told a very different story. Far from sitting in a prison cell, Tony Jaa was back doing what he loved: creating, fighting, and building a new chapter on his own terms. After weathering years of lawsuits, financial struggles, and relentless speculation, he stepped back onto the global stage with quiet determination. His role in Furious 7 marked not just a Hollywood breakthrough, but a personal victory, proof that despite everything, he still belonged among the world's biggest action stars. From there, he kept moving forward. He took on powerful roles in international productions like Skin Trade, SPL3, Paradox, and Monster Hunter alongside Milla Jovovich. Each project wasn't just another movie. It was a statement. Tony Jaa was still here, still fighting, still unbreakable. But perhaps most impressive was how he reinvented himself behind the scenes. After learning hard lessons from the past about control, contracts, and ownership, Tony Jaa began shifting into producing. He didn't just want to perform action scenes anymore. He wanted to create them, own them, shape them from start to finish. In recent years, he's poured his energy into developing new Muay Thai film projects, aiming to showcase the raw beauty of his craft on his own terms, free from the chains of the past. And through it all, he never stopped sharing glimpses of his real life. His social media tells a story far different from the dark rumors. A man devoted to training, family, and staying grounded. Photos of early morning workouts, moments with his wife and children, behind-the-scenes clips from film sets, a life rebuilt not with noise, but with purpose. Tony Jaa's journey is no fairy tale. It's something better. It's the story of a fighter who lost everything and still refused to quit, not because he had to prove anything to the world, but because real warriors never stay down. They rise again and again. And Tony Jaa is living proof of that. In the end, rumors lose their grip. Headlines fade like smoke. But what stays, what truly matters, is the story a man writes for himself. The internet told one story, but reality told another. Tony Jaa didn't vanish into scandal. He stepped away to survive, to rebuild, to remember who he was beyond the noise. His greatest fight wasn't staged for the camera. It wasn't filmed in slow motion. It happened in silence, off-screen, far from the lights. It was a fight against control, contracts, pressure, and expectation. And like every real warrior, he didn't win it with fists. He won it with endurance. That's what makes his story powerful. Because Tony Jaa isn't just an action star. He's a man who lost the world's spotlight and found himself in the quiet. He's proof that you can be broken, publicly, painfully, and still come back stronger. Fame will twist your name. Rumors will write their own version of your life. But character, real character, survives the noise. And Tony Jaa is still here. Not perfect, not untouched, but standing. Legends aren't perfect. They're not untouched by pain. They bleed. They break. But what matters is simple. They stand back up, even when no one's watching, even when no one's cheering. And Tony Jaa didn't just rise. He never stopped walking forward. And that's the legacy that truly lasts.